That is good. We are going to California to Tom Doherty, who looks exactly like Tom Doherty.
I hope that's a compliment, Scott.
That is a compliment.
Sean, pleasure to meet you. I love the visuals and the flag. When I was doing Century Rides for Cancer to support folks, I put together a quarterback arm pad, and I listed everybody's names on the playlist, and then I put inside their pictures. So just another visual over a great way to stay motivated to do that. My question for you is around, obviously you went through a lot as a teenager, and I'm sure it changed you in a lot of ways. How did it impact other teenagers around you? I think obviously they don't have your same perspective. So like, did you have a hard time engaging with the rest of your peers at that time?
I did. And that's an interesting question. I haven't really thought about that in a long time. I remember when I was going through, I believe it was my first cancer. Because the first cancer, I was 70 pounds overweight because of the prednisone. The steroid blew me up. And it was in the summertime. And like I said, I was a swimmer. I mean, I think I still have records from when I was 13 years old. And I had my sights set on the Olympics, but ever since they cut in my lat muscle, now all I do is swim in a circle. I remember being there. I had my hat on, and a lot of people on the team kept, doing one of these, looking over, and I could hear them saying, who's the new kid? He acts like Sean. It kind of looks like Sean. So that was very impactful. And I had to explain to a lot of people why I looked the way I did. And I think because I grew up in such a small town, 5,000 people in Ohio, everybody knew my business. You sneeze, the neighbor says, bless you, and the person down the road knows about your business. Everybody knows it. And I think that was a blessing because when I was in high school then, there was another time in the cafeteria where I bumped into like the school bully. Chuck Lacer was his name, if anybody knows a Chuck Lacer.
Sure.
And I remember he was with his little groupies, I suppose. I bumped into him, he dropped his plate, and he turned around to punch me, and he stopped. And they're like, hurt him. They were egging him on, hurt him, punch him. And he looked at me and goes, nah, he's been through enough. So I think my family, the teachers, and the others who were in town did a good job of explaining what was going on. And I think because I initially started off as being terrified of putting myself out there, I took those little steps, got out there, and I wasn't afraid to tell people, hey, I have cancer. But I think the main component of that was me coming to grips with it first before I could even tell anybody else. So it affected my friends in a way where when you have good friends in a support system, I have never been to the peak of any significant mountain by myself. It just has never happened. Always had a good team, and with the cancers and that journey as well, when you have the right team behind you, it makes it so much more tolerable, no matter how bad it is.
Good stuff.